Welcome to Fitting It with Hair Made Easy. Today we're joined on video call with Heather MacKenzie, award-winning hairdresser, social media star and queen of creating magical hair transformations. Morning Heather, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely, we've got some great conversations to go at, haven't we? So should we get started with some quick fire questions?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, let's get warmed up. So if you could only have one colour hair for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Pink, 100%.
I think that's quite an easy one for you, isn't it? I love the pink theme. Love it. So one salon product you couldn't live without.
I think at the minute, product or colour?
Let's go product first.
Dry shampoo.
Love that. Quick and easy in the morning. What about colour? Right, okay. You love them.
Look well.
Okay, brilliant. And what's your favourite Hair Made Easy tool?
I would say I don't know what it's called, but the stand one.
Oh, the refit rack.
Yeah, so when all your extensions off and stuff, you can like layer it up so you know exactly where they're going to go back.
Love that, brilliant. It's my favourite as well, Heather. Love that one. So your dream client. If you could pick one client in the whole world, who would it be?
Avril Lavigne.
Oh, really?
She just always had amazing hair. I'd love to do it.
Let's get it out there. Let's get out to the universe. Let's get it sorted. So if you weren't a hairdresser, what would you be doing now?
Honestly, people ask me that all the time. I have no idea. Probably a tattooist, something like that. It'd have to be something with my hands.
Right, okay. And you love your tattoos as well, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I probably wasn't very good at it, but
your tattoos are stunning. Absolutely love it. Oh, it's brilliant. Right, okay. I want to get into the journey now. So where it all started. So your first day ever in the hair industry, what did it look like?
First day ever. It looked like it was a long time ago. I'm knocking on a bit now. And it was back when juniors were just pretty much cleaners. So, which was fine because I kind of expected that. So yeah, it was just sweeping up, scrubbing skirting boards, jumping in bins, doing all that. And then, but I do think as much as it probably could have been a little bit less of that, I do think it gives you like a pretty good work ethic to get started. Not that I'm saying we should go back to that, but I think it gave me a really good work ethic to get started like in the industry. And it was a nice way of getting to know clients, bringing them drinks, washing the hair and all that sort of thing, and learning how to talk to them.
It gives you confidence, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because I was I'm still not the most confident person in the world, but I was very much not then. And it kind of like eased your way in to be able to even just ask a client if they wanted a drink. Because I remember just being absolutely terrified to just walk up to somebody and ask them if they wanted a drink, which is insane to think now, but it is very nerve-wracking, isn't it, when you first get started.
And can you remember your first ever haircut? Do you remember the first person you did in the salon?
It was probably my mom. Something like that, I would imagine. My mum or my nan or something like that.
Mine stands out a mile. I remember doing a gents cut, and I'd never done gents cuts in my life. It's like so many years ago, but it stuck with me because it was shocking. It was so bad. I was there for about an hour. This poor guy sat in the chair. There were steps everywhere. It was really, really bad. But those things are the things that stick in your head, aren't they? So thinking about your career so far, what's been the number one standout moment? What's stuck in your mind of being, right, that's it now?
I'm never satisfied, so there's not really been anything 100% just yet. I have just sort of started working with Weller a little bit more, so I think at the minute that's probably it. And I won a Weller Trend Vision Award in 2019, and I think then I felt like that was it. But now I still feel like I've not quite got there yet, if that makes sense. But I think that's just because I'm never fully satisfied with myself.
I remember you getting that. It was such a huge achievement. It was like, I mean, it was so deserved because your work's insane. But you know, when you get something like that, how does it make you feel? What was going through your head at the time?
I was shocked because I've talked about this before, but I very nearly didn't go to the final because I was just convinced that I wasn't going to win and all these things. I was like, people like me who live in like Sheffield don't win these big awards, or they need to work in like Tony and Guy and all these places and be something really special. And I just was like, that's not me. So there's just no way I'm going to win. There's no point coming all the way down, paying for a model, da 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 da. So I so nearly didn't go, but it was the people that were with me that like made me go. So I was genuinely just completely flabbergasted that I'd won because I just didn't think that it was even possible. But I think that definitely helped my confidence a little bit more because it was like, all right, okay, then people do see something that I'm not seeing, sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that helped with your confidence?
Yeah, definitely. Like I've said, I don't think my confidence will ever 100% be there, but it's definitely a lot better than it used to be. I'm very self-critical and don't fully see it. I think I've got that like imposter syndrome. But yeah, I think definitely helped.
Imposter syndrome is such a massive thing as well. I think we all suffer with that, don't we? You're looking at other
Yeah.
people and where they're at, and do you still do a bit of that now?
Yeah, every day.
Really?
Every day. Yeah. I never feel like I'm like I don't know. Like I know that I'm like all right. I know that I'm not shit, but I don't think I'm like anything special, if that makes sense.
I mean, that's just insane to hear you saying that because your work is incredible. And the things that you manage to do, I mean, your transformations and your colour corrections and the things that you manage to do, people think, I know we talk about it quite a lot in the industry, but you look at your work and you just see the incredible things that you can do
Yeah.
and you're still thinking like that. It's quite humbling really to hear
I
you.
think I think a part of it is social media too. Like I think a lot of people feel the same, and I think there'll be people that I look up to that probably think the same. So I think it's important to be honest about it. I wish I could just be like, oh my god, yeah, I'm amazing, but I think it's rare that people feel like that. But I think, yeah, like I said, there'll be people that I'm like, oh my god, they're incredible, and they'll probably feel in a similar kind of way.
About you.
No, about themselves, like they'll feel like um that they're not. They'll have people that they look up to, and they'll have people that they look up to, and it all kind of is a bit of a domino effect. You know what I mean?
So do you want to share with us who you look up to at the minute, who you're watching?
I absolutely love James Earnshaw. He's a Weller global ambassador. Love him, love his work. I was really lucky to be able to do a little bit of. I worked with him on a photo shoot last year, and I'm going to be doing a few more things with him because of Weller this year, which I'm very excited to do. But yeah, so I'd say him at the minute is like top tier.
Right, okay. So how much interaction do you get with people like that? Because obviously he is huge in the industry.
James a little bit more now, because of Weller, and some people. I don't know, probably like if you reached out, most people would answer you, but you're a bit nervous too, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That takes us onto Instagram. So obviously you look at your grid and it's the most aesthetically pleasing grid I've seen. I mean, it's just I think because it's pastels and it's your work so stunning and you see what you're creating each day. Where did all that start? How did you start your Instagram? Because obviously we all start somewhere. How did you get going with your theme and the way that you've designed your grid?
So I started with Instagram, like focusing on work a little bit more I can't remember what year, but I'd moved from a little salon in Rotherham to a salon in Sheffield that was a little bit like not a massive salon, but it was a bit bigger, more expensive, a little bit further out for like the clients that I was leaving. So, and I'd gone from being employed to being self-employed. So I'd started again, like even though I've been hairdressing for about, I don't know, 10 years at that point, I'd started again with nothing and no clients. So I had to just like start building them up. And obviously Instagram started becoming a little bit more of a thing then. So I was like, right, this is gonna have to be how I start to do it. And I only really started focusing on it to get clients in. And it just kind of went from there really. And then I started doing a few more like pastels and vivids and noticed that that was gaining more traction and I got a lot more of attention like on Instagram from that. So I thought, well, if I just start posting these sort of things, 'cause it's what I love to do, it kind of helped me build a little bit more that way. So yeah, that's when it all kind of started building.
Yeah. I remember following you right at the beginning and seeing your whites and thinking, wow, how on earth has she managed that? Because it's such a difficult colour to achieve. And back then, especially because we didn't have the same products that we've got now.
Yeah.
So just achieving things like that, how much training did you need to do to be able to get yourself there, or was it all self-taught?
No, I don't think anything's self-taught, is it really? I'd probably say I didn't have the training initially because she just didn't back then. But then it was a lot of like learning from Instagram and then going on courses with like independent artists and stuff like that. I think they had a big impact, like learning from actual individual hairdressers where you were like, right, I love their work. They look really good at that sort of thing. So we'll go on their classes and kind of build it up that way. And like I said, a lot online, a lot on YouTube, which I know has a bit of a knock sometimes, but there is a lot that can be learned. Like if you've already got like a basic understanding of everything, there's a lot you can build up. And then it's just trial and error then and putting it into practice yourself.
Yeah. So when did you start creating the pastel theme? You know, when did you think, right, this is it, I'm going to go with this and this is going to be my grid?
I think that was more like, because when I was building the Instagram and noticed that people, it kind of stood out a little bit more. Especially a few years ago, it seemed to be like a massive thing. Because if I ever post anything that's just like a brunette or even like a blonde balayage, it just doesn't do very well. But I think that's because people are just so used to seeing the blondes, like the white blondes and the pastels from me. Because I do everything, but I just don't really post it because, like I said, the ones that get the attention are more the pastels and the vivid. So because I noticed that happening, I just kind of honed in on that.
Yeah. And as soon as you see a Heather post, you know it's Heather. So how have you created that? How have you got to that stage where, you know, everybody wants to know how to do that? And it's such a difficult thing to do now because it's oversaturated so massively. How did you become you on the grid?
I just posted what I was doing. I've not really like had, I don't have like a specific way of doing anything. I just kind of do my job, take a picture and video and post it. And it's just, I think as long as you're just doing what is naturally comes natural to you, it
Yeah.
will just kind of look like your work because you're not trying to emulate anything. You can be inspired by other people, but you're not trying to like just copy something. You're using inspiration, and it will out. Everybody's work always kind of just looks a little bit like theirs, and I don't know how it just kind of does. I think as long as you're just staying true to like your work and how you do things, maybe it's how you curl, maybe how you straighten or whatever. There's always gonna be like a little something that you might do a little bit different to everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's keeping it fresh, isn't it? I mean, you've just got to, it's keeping on top of it all. And do you keep an eye on what's going on? Do you keep an eye on how the algorithm's working and things like that?
Yeah, I do a little bit. I try not to get too bogged down into like the algorithm and all that sort of thing anymore. I think I did at one point. Um, but I just think as long as like your content's decent, it'll be all right.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't like
absolutely.
focus too much on, oh, I need to post at this time, I need to do this, I need to do that, because you can just get in your head a bit about it too much. I think
Yeah.
just make sure you're looking at your content with fresh eyes sometimes, and like if you find it interesting to look at, other people are probably going to find it interesting to look at. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I've noticed you over the last sort of 12, 18 months, we've been seeing more of Heather. So we've been seeing behind the scenes and your step by steps. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
confidence thing, that, isn't it? How did you get into that bit?
I think that was more from obviously seeing that things have shifted from just photos to video. And it's
Yeah.
like, right, well, I'll have to start doing that now, aren't I? Because that's what no one wants to look at pictures anymore for some reason. And people do want to see you, and I think especially clients want to see you. They want to see who, especially new clients, they want to go and see who they're sitting with to feel comfortable. I think it's important to like show who you are a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that kind of just came from, right, videos are starting to become more of a thing. So you just got to, if you have kind of just got to jump on what is happening, otherwise you'll just get lost.
If we can chat now about boys' parties, because obviously, when I see anything that you've done for him, it's absolutely amazing to see. I mean, where does all that come from? They're huge. I mean, for anybody that's not seen what you do, they need to go and have a look, because when you throw a party, you know how to throw a party. Where did you get the inspiration from when you did the first one?
I can't remember what was the first one. I think the first one was like a circus theme. I think we did just like Pinterest, Instagram, stuff like that. I'm not every single time I'm like, oh, I'm not going to go mad. Like I'm just gonna like just do a few balloons, whatever. And I don't know, I think I've just got like something wrong with me where I start doing something and I have to just like do it more and more and more, and I have to make it perfect. And I see something else, I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could do this. And I think I'm always a bit like, I look at stuff, I'm like, I could do that. I could make that balloon arch. I could do whatever. So I always just try and like add more onto it to make it as extra as possible. And now it's just become like a thing that I've now got to do because I've done it for like the last 3 years. I need to make sure that I keep on top of it. And it's like a bit of a competition with myself.
It's mad, absolutely brilliant. I love seeing. I can't wait for the next one. It's exciting to see what you're going to do for him next.
He's
It's
asked for, he's getting to the age where he can ask for things now. So he's asked for Moana and Frozen this year. So we'll see. He might change his mind by September.
brilliant. Which has been your favourite one so far?
The dinosaur one. So we did the dinosaur one for the last one, and it was 3. So we did 3 Rex, and he's obsessed with dinosaurs, and he still talks about it now. So I think that was my favourite just because like he absolutely loved it. And I think he was that age that he could realise like it was all for him and his cake and all that. So he still keeps talking about it now. So I think that's probably why it's my favourite, because I know that he absolutely loved it.
I mean, all his friends coming from nursery, and obviously the mums are coming round, and when they see it, they must feel, wow, the competition must be massive.
Well, at the minute, it's not really nursery people. It's like just our friends and family. Luckily, because otherwise it'd cost me a fortune. I don't know what I'm going to do when it's like nursery friends and school friends. But yeah, it is nice.
Right, so you've got such an amazing following. So your Instagram is a huge thing. You're a mum, you're a businesswoman, you're an educator, you're working with Wella. How do you fit all that in?
I'm not going to lie, it's a struggle. Some weeks are easier than others. Some weeks, if it's like a little bit quieter in the salon, it makes my life a little bit easier because then I can pick up editing content and doing all that. But really, you just get on with it. And if it does get a bit too much, I'm like, right, I'll have to just back off for a minute, but I'll just do it. I'll try to never really cancel anything. And then I'll try and just give myself a little bit of space the week after and a bit of time. So I'm not like hammering it every single week. Um, but yeah, I think it's just one of them things, like if you want something, you've just got to work hard for it, haven't you? So yeah, it does get a bit overwhelming at times, but it's I have to remind myself that it's a good thing that I've got all these things to be overwhelmed about.
It looks like you've got an amazing network around you as well. I mean, you see your husband, and your little Bowie there. You just look like you've got a great little network.
I'm really lucky to have such a good husband as well, because he's very, very hands-on. So I know that a lot of people don't always have that um, because of work commitments or whatever else. But yeah, I'm very lucky that he's super, super hands-on and takes a lot of the pressure off, so I can like go and do things that I need to be doing.
And is he all right with the social media side of it, getting involved and getting on camera and stuff?
Super chill. So I don't really have him on social media that much. I probably might start doing. Um, he's not a massive social media person. He kind of like, he's a tattooist, so he does it a little bit, but he don't really. He kind of hates it. Um, but he would just do anything. He's super laid back. So he just, if I said like, I need you to do this or I need you to do that and be in this video, he would do it, because he kind of would just do anything to make me happy, which is really cute.
And is Bowie getting used to the pressures of Instagram? Is he all right with it all?
I don't really put him on too much either. Odd picture and stuff, but I don't really want to have him on like in videos and too much. Like every now and again, if I'm doing like a little getting ready in the morning kind of thing, I'll just stick my camera up, but I don't want it to obviously interfere with his life or anything like that. And as he gets bigger, if he decides he don't want to be on camera or anything, then he will be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just balancing it all, isn't it, and going with the flow, I think.
I think sometimes it's just I don't do too much of the behind the scenes things because I don't really have time. When you're in a rush in the morning, then having to remember just that extra few minutes to go and set your camera up and stuff, you don't always have it. But every now and again, I'll just do it just because I think it's nice to see just kind of the reality of things, because I do think there is a lot of like unrealistic stuff of getting ready in the mornings, like that look really relaxing and laid back, and it's like it's not like that, is it? It's just everything's quite chaotic and whatever else. I think it's important to show that side of things, but it's hard to show that side of things because things are chaotic, so you've not always got time to show it.
I mean, I think I've only really seen when you go into Disney and things like that as a family. And that side of it's lovely to see, because it's, it's just nice to see how happy you all are and what a great time you're having. So it's nice to see that all that hard work's paying off and you're actually going and doing some amazing things as a family.
Yeah, we love Disney. He loves Disney now too, which is nice.
Yeah, I bet he does. It looks insane what you managed to do behind the scenes. It looks amazing. So when we think about the hair extension side of things, how much of that do you do, Heather?
Hair extensions, I do quite a bit. It's not 100%. I'd say I'm do more colour than anything, but I have a couple of clients a week that have extensions, but I say that, and I only really do 2 or 3 clients a day anyway. So I'd say maybe it's like a third of my workload.
Right, okay. Do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy incorporating the two things together?
Love extensions. I'd love it if every single one of my clients had extensions, to be honest, because I like that there's so much more that you can do, especially with colour too. You can do more with colour, I think, and then you can give people more of a transformation, because you're not necessarily having to like bleach their hair up and all these things. You're not as restricted. You've got a lot more option to incorporate like different tones, different shades. You could make somebody lighter without even having to bleach their hair and all these sort of things. So I think it's nice because it's more guaranteed. Colour is very much not. Whereas with extensions, you kind of know exactly what you're going to get. Whereas with colour, it's a bit, it's dependent on how their hair lifts. Whereas I think there's a bit more control with extensions. So it's love doing them.
Yeah. It's so satisfying, and the transformations are huge, aren't they? So it's just
Wonderful.
It's seeing, it's seeing what you can do, and what some of the things you've achieved with extensions has been incredible. So what's your hair extension journey look like with education? Where did you start with it?
I did it quite a few years ago. Started doing, what did I start with? Individuals, like the eye tips. I don't do them at all anymore. I mainly just do weaves and tapes. Every now and again, a few nanos like in the sides, but education wise, I had really good education for the individuals. But then when I started doing weaves, tapes as well, I had good education for that. And I was doing them for quite a few years. Decided to do weaves a couple of years back, went on a course for that with a pretty big company, to be fair. Education was shocking. I was very lucky that I would like I go to a salon once a week, and the guy who owns that is incredible at weave, so he just kind of showed me how to do it. Because if I would have just gone on this course and not had anybody to help me, or hadn't even done extensions before, how people go on these courses and then just start doing it, especially if they're not hairdressers, is beyond me. Because I was like, on this course, and there was a few girls that were on it that weren't even hairdressers. They'd never done extensions before, and I was like, I don't know how they're going to go away and even be able to colour match somebody, because it was awful. So I just had to go away and just teach myself again with like Instagram. I paid for some subscriptions to learn a bit extra. Sam at the salon really helped me, and Hannah, just to be able to pick it up. And then I just honed in on that and really kind of carried on teaching myself through their help. But yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have had a clue.
Yeah. And that's really worrying, isn't it? Because you've made a conscious effort to make sure that you understood it properly, and that you've gone over and over and over again until you've got it. But some people just go away thinking they can now do hair extensions from those courses. And that's a worry.
That's it. And because I already did extensions, I obviously have some sort of knowledge around them anyway, how to know how much to put in, how to colour match and all them sort of things. Like, you didn't even really learn that. I remember one of the girls asking like, well, how are we going to know how much to order for them? And she's like, oh, you just figure it out. I'm like, oh, well, I know how to figure it out because I've been figuring it out for years, but she's never done them before. So how is she going to even know where to start? So yeah, it is a bit concerning. There's a lot of and it wasn't like I said, it was with a big brand. It wasn't cheap or anything like that. So it was a bit disappointing, really.
Yeah. And it's so expensive as well, isn't it? It's a lot to invest.
Yeah, I could have easily just not done it and just done what I did afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. But you need certificates and you need your insurance.
But you need a certificate, yeah. So
Yeah. I mean, what do you think, what are your thoughts on the hair extension industry with education now? you know, moving forward, we're seeing some, for me, we're seeing some really poor education out there where it's just about money. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think like with the one that I did, I definitely felt that way. But then I was like, well, maybe it was a bad like lot and it was just unlucky that I picked the wrong one. But yeah, I think I'm seeing it a lot where people are finding it difficult to find a good education. There's just not enough. It's too quick. There's too many like learn 5 million different methods in 6 hours and then just be on your way. And I think it's just not really good enough, especially with the people that haven't done hair before at all. It's like even just learning how to, it sounds ridiculous, but even just learning how to touch somebody's head is like a whole thing, and just how to handle somebody's hair, and how much pressure to put on and all those sort of things. Like it's a completely different learning experience. So I think there is a lot missing from hair extension training, really. I
Yeah.
think America have got a lot more than what we have over here.
Yeah. I think there's a lot more regulations over there, though. They're a lot tighter.
Yeah, definitely.
And, you know, when you look at their education system, the big brands are really smashing it. They're using some really good educators out there. You know, you look at people like Bellamy, they're using, they're going big, and you know, education's a lot more expensive over there. So, you know, they can get the really good educators, and I'm not saying that all the big brands over here are not using brilliant educators. I don't mean that at all, because I think the big brands are showing the way, and they're leading the way that education is going.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult over here because it's such a different economy, especially when it comes to hairdressing. I think people in America, not as a whole, obviously America's massive, but um, for the most part, I think people will pay over there, whereas over here, people can't spend thousands on education because they can't then, well, they can, but we're not charging what we probably should be charging for the fittings and everything else to even make it worth it. Whereas I think over there, there's a lot more sort of exclusivity put on it, and it's held up to a higher standard than it is over here, if that makes sense. Like people kind of will pay that little bit more over there than what they will here. So I think we're just not charging right, and I think that's a whole thing around it where then everything becomes cheap and accessible.
And again, it's about education, isn't it? It's educating the industry to charge the right amounts and know your worth.
Yeah, and I think it's one of them things that it is a luxury, so it kind of should be expensive. And as like hard as it is, not everything can always be accessible to everybody, unfortunately, which is really rubbish. But some things can be quite dangerous. You can lose hair. There's all these other things that could happen, that it does need to be done in the hands of somebody who's had good education and who knows what they're doing, and is not just wants to charge 50 quid and be on your way, and next minute you've got traction alopecia. Do you know what I mean?
We get messages like that all the time, and I think that's why I feel so passionate about it. You know, people that are not, they've been and had the hair done somewhere, and they found us on Instagram, and they come to us because we've got a lot of education on the grid, and they'll come and chat to us and say, look, you know, this is, my hair's hanging out at one side, there's a load of my hair has come away with it, they've had a weft done, you know, what do I do about it? And, you know, obviously you've got to send them back to the person that's fitted it. It's not always the extensionist's fault. It could be down to bad aftercare, that they've not looked after it themselves properly first. But, you know, it's the whole education thing then, isn't it? And I just feel like we need to educate educators so that they know what they should and shouldn't be showing these, especially hair extension training, that have not got the hairdressing qualifications. That's the bit that's concerning.
Yeah, definitely. There needs to be a lot more kind of put into it, 100%. And it can't, I just don't think it can be you learn in an afternoon and then you're on your way. There needs to be a lot more kind of aftercare with that, with the educators and all that sort of thing, not just there you go, off you on your way, you've got a certificate and now you can just do whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Right, okay. So talk to me. What is a typical day? What happens in the world of Heather?
Normal work day, usually I'd get up, sort Bowie out with Matt. He usually takes him to nursery. because we start at different times. So Matt will take him, but we'll have to, like, it's a bit of a fight to get him ready every morning. So we'll fight with him, get him ready, send him off to nursery. I'll usually go to the gym, or try and clean the house or whatever. And then yeah, do work, try and do as much editing as possible. There's never any like I do this at this time, this at that time. Every day is just like I'll just kind of do what I can. I know I've got so many things to do, but I'll just fit it in wherever. Very rarely have like a lunch break or anything like that. It's just constant, and then yeah, and then parenting again once I've finished.
So a typical day in the salon, how many clients do you usually do?
2 to 3. If I've got like a few root colours in, more quicker appointments, it might be 4. But it's very rarely any more than that. It's usually 2 or 3.
And is there an apprentice that works with you, or do you have an assistant, or?
No, it's just me. Just me. I work just by myself at home. I've got like a little home salon, like a little cabin, and I'll work there most of the time. And then once a week, I try and go to a salon in Doncaster to do like new clients and things like that, just so I can see other hairdressers as well. So I'll try and do that once a week. But most of the time, I'm here on my own.
Right, okay. So what's next for Heather? What can we expect? What's coming up?
I actually don't know. I've no idea. I've just, like I said, I've started working a little bit more with Weller, so hopefully there'll be a lot more of that on the horizon. I don't really know exactly what is to come. I know that I want a lot more. I just don't know I don't really know what that is just yet. But I'm hoping there's a lot more work like with Weller and things like that, and hopefully getting to meet new people and have new experiences with that. Like I said, I'm not the most confident person, so I'm trying to work on that and say yes to things that I would normally say no to. I've got a few things planned with Weller. One of them is something I would never have in a million years thought I'd be able to do like on my own. But I'm going to do it and we'll see.
Pushing yourself out there.
Yeah, because I think like I don't know, you can easily sit back and watch everybody else and wonder why you're not getting things, which I have done for quite a while. And I'm like, why am I not getting this opportunity? Why can't I do this? And I'm like, well, because you're not doing it. You're saying no every time somebody asks you if you want to do something. I'm terrified to go to London. I'm terrified to do all these things. And I'm like, if I don't do it, these things aren't going to come to you because you're not putting yourself in the position to be able to. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to sometimes put yourself out there a little bit more and do more than what you would normally be willing to.
So with the Weller thing, did they come to you? Did they approach you to work together?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I obviously did the competition. I think that was 2019. And I worked with them a lot, like with colour and stuff, but I never really didn't work with them properly. Whereas now, yeah, it was more kind of had a relationship with them, and then these opportunities have kind of come along.
Because it's hard to reach out to big brands like that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's good to obviously be working with them for a while, and it's something that's genuine and like a brand that you would actually love. Like, I'm not the kind of person that's just going to message any brand to do whatever. I will only really work with people that I use. I don't want to just be like message a random brand of like, oh, will you pay me to do this, that, and other? Like, I don't want to do that. I only want to work with things that I would use and I use every single day, because I just think it's more genuine then, and you can talk about it better because you genuinely do love it. Do you know what I mean? I think now it's so easy to kind of see through people just signing with brands and doing whatever else because, I mean, fair, get your money, but it's harder to connect then, I think, because it's not real.
And I think with your journey, it's evolved naturally with Trend Vision, and you've gone from that to being the colorist that you are now. It's been quite a natural progression on it from start to where you are now with them.
Yeah, definitely. It's not just something I've never used before, and this opportunity's come along and I've just kind of snatched it, which again, like if people do, that's fair. Like, you work hard and if your Instagram is what it is, you should be able to make a bit of money off that 100%. I just think for me, it needs to be 100% genuine.
Yeah, and something you love.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's give some of our audience a little bit of advice from Heather. Where do they start? So how do they become their own brand?
I'd say just start. Just get your Instagram open. You know what you like to do, and what you're best at. Have a look at what's performing better on your Instagram and what people gravitate more towards, and just kind of honing on that. Building your Instagram up on your social media is unfortunately very difficult now, and it isn't it. You just kind of have to just do it and keep being consistent with it. But it's like another job to do, but I kind of see it as something that I get to do, and it's making my life better from doing it. It's not like, oh, I've got to do this content, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. I think we're lucky that we've got it now, because I think years ago, when a lot of us started, you just had to wait for clients to sit in your chair. It was word of mouth, which word of mouth is still great, but we've now got this opportunity. We can reach like much further. I've got clients who come from here, there and everywhere, and I'm lucky enough now that I get to like have clients from anywhere and everywhere come to my little shed in my garden. Do you know what I mean? Like 15 years ago, that wouldn't have been possible. You would have just been relying on people from your area, and then you were kind of restricted to what you can charge and all these things. So I think we're very lucky to have this tool that's free to use. But yeah, I just say, just post. It doesn't need to be perfect. Not everything needs to be like polished and shined and whatever else. Like, I've got so many videos with myself in them, my hair's scraped up, I've got no makeup on, like I was 4 stone heavier, and I was just still doing it because I just thought, if I don't show up now, I'm never going to show up. Like, not everything. Some days I've not got time to do my hair, some days I've not got time to do my makeup, and it just is what it is. Like, people aren't there for you, they're there for what you're doing and for your client. You don't need to look prim and proper and whatever else. Like, some days I'll try and do it because I'm thinking, yeah, I want to look nice, but if I've not got time to, just show up and do it. Don't wait until you look perfect, or until you've lost weight, or until you've done this and the lighting's good and this and that. Just do it.
That's the hardest bit though, isn't it?
It is, and it ain't, because it's just do it, just post it and see what happens. Like I said, I've got videos. One of my most viral videos, I look like shit. Like, I've not got makeup on, my hair scraped up. It's not because of how I look or anything like that. It's just about the hair. Like, that's all you've got to care about. That's all people are there for. They're not interested in you. They're interested in what you can do for them.
And once you've done that first one, it's done. It's out there. Yeah. And you can just carry on then, can't you? It's just putting that first one up there.
Yeah, and I get it is scary. I am I'm the most insecure person in the world, but you just have to do it if that's what you want to, if that's where you want to get to. Like, there's always going to be that first video, and the sooner you do it and the more you do it, the easier it'll get. You just have to grin and bear it for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you was to give yourself, looking back at being 18, I want you to give yourself a little bit of advice. What would that main piece of advice that you'd give yourself now?
I don't know. I don't know. It's been like kind of hard because I'm quite happy with where I am, as much as like I want to do more. I think if I'd not done what I've done, maybe I wouldn't get to this. Because I always think, well, maybe I should have started in like a bigger salon and I should have done that. Maybe I would have got further. But I still managed to get to a decent point without having done that. Maybe it would be starting like a bigger salon and take the opportunities a little bit more and a little bit sooner, because I might be in a better place now, even though, I mean, it's fine. I'm not complaining, but I probably could have sped things up a little bit for myself if I would have took my own advice that I just said and just did it sooner and took myself out of my head a little bit.
Brilliant. I love that. Heather, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've loved speaking to you. It's been a great chat. Hope you've enjoyed it.
I have. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's been brilliant.
Thank you so much. Bye.